He kisses me and then gives me a passionate kiss. There was only one thought left in my mind. It turns out this is truly love. I put my arms around his neck, deepening the kiss. My heart is as happy as growing wings. I finally found the love of my life. And true love is much simpler than I thought it would be. Hello, my name is Sophia. I'm 32 years old this year, has been through a marriage. However, until now, I really understand what love is like. I used to be so lost in love, even turned myself into a digger. And today, I will tell you the story of a poor girl who turned into a gold digger and then became a woman who is extremely happy with her love. Talking about my family's situation, my father abandoned me and my mother to follow the new call of love since I was 4 years old. Since then, my mother has lost her faith in love. She has not remarried, but has become a single mother, working hard to take care of our lives. Mom worked so hard to make both of us live as well as possible. Now, back to many years ago, when I was just a girl in high school. Because of my family background, I couldn't afford to buy expensive clothes or use cosmetics. Even so, I was fortunate to have a beautiful face with green eyes, thick eyelashes, high nasal bridge, and thick, seductive lips. So even though I didn't have money to use cosmetics, and I just had a simple lipstick, I was still a pretty outstanding girl in school. And my high school years passed pretty well too, until I was in 11th grade. My school had just welcomed a new male student. His name is David, and he instantly became famous in my school, right at the moment he entered the school. Why? Because he was not only handsome, but also rich. Really rich. He wore a Burberry sports suit, Adidas shoes, and a Rolex watch. And most of all, he drives a Porsche. Oh my god. Needless to say how crazy the girls at school were when they saw him. Most of them looked at him with heart-shaped eyes and felt like they frantically rushed over him and kissed him. Of course, I also fell in love with his appearance. I mean, what high school girl isn't that frivolous? But at least I didn't make it clear. I didn't even look at him when he passed me. But it seemed like a good move. Because although there were countless beautiful and more popular girls than me surrounded him, however, David only noticed me. What? Anyway, he announced in front of the school that he would pursue me on the second morning of the second week of school. And from that moment, things got pretty crazy. The other girls showed me both jealousy and hatred, and David kept giving me expensive gifts. Makeup by Chanel, MAC, Lancome, Dior, D&G Clothing, Givenchy, Prada, the brands that I used to think were just names that I often heard. But now, I can not only touch them, use them, but also have a lot to put them in my house. Of course, I was shy at first, but David kept begging me, and his expression was so sincere, really sincere, not because the expensive items dazzled me. I swear, I fell in love with you right at the first time, when I look at you and I know this is who I have to marry. Over time, it becomes very natural to receive gifts. It grew on me. I enjoyed it very much. And of course, when David asked if I could be his girlfriend, I nodded without hesitation. Since becoming David's girlfriend, luxury gifts have become more frequent. David said he wants his girlfriend to always get the best out of it. And of course, he started driving me to school in his Porsche. Nor did he show any disdain when he saw my humble home. The expensive gifts are piled up. I even sneakily sold them to get money to help my mother. Perhaps you would think it was just a brief high school romance, but he was really serious. I didn't understand why. After finishing high school, he chose to go to the same university that I attended. It doesn't matter whether he went to college or not. He was originally destined to be the director of his father's company. Anyway, he went to the same school and we started to live together. Although living together, expensive gifts are still given. And I started to be fascinated by them, to the point that even though I knew David was dating a dozen other girls outside, even slept with them, I comforted myself. At least he would go home with me. That's the most important thing. Come to think of it, I think that's probably why he decided to stick with me for so long. I always forgave his promiscuity very easily, never made a scene about it. I'm really his suitable lover. in such a way that he even proposed to me. And when I looked at the large and bright diamond on the ring, how could I say? After we got married, he gave me a black card and let me spend as much money as I want. But one thing has not changed. He was still having an affair with dozens of girls outside, and I still continued to ignore it. Honestly, there was a real love between us from the beginning, but by then, it seemed like a tacit agreement between us. We gave each other what the partner needed, and so did the partner. But I still thought that was fine. I could live like that. The brand name things around me are enough to make me happy. Who needs love? Well, how ironic. My husband needs it. Really ridiculous. One day, he told me that he had found true love and wanted to divorce. In return, he will give me a mansion and a large sum of money. Of course, he never gave me half of his fortune, and I wasn't able to compete with any of it because his family completely control over it. And I don't want to make a scene again either. I simply nodded. Honestly, I was sad too, but mainly because I didn't have a rich husband. Not because I had to divorce. I only care about his money. At that time, I was really a woman who only cared about money. Even though the wealth he passed to me to compensate for the divorce was enough to make me happy, I kept pairing rich men, even though one was many years older than me. I know I've become a gold digger, but I didn't want to change either. At least I'm not dating a married man. I kept reeling in such beneficial relationships. It wasn't until I broke up with a rich man after 2 weeks that I was really tired of life like that. I decided to stop loving and mining and took a cooking class to spend all my free time. Actually, from a young age, I enjoyed cooking, but after falling in love and marrying David, I started to fall into a spiral of money and forgot this simple hobby. In class, I met Joey. Joey is the teacher. He was very gentle, sweet, and caring. Honestly, at first, I didn't pay attention to him because he wasn't my taste. My taste at that time was rich, and I don't want to think about love. But Joey always gave me special attention. His way of pursuing me is gentle and simple. No expensive brand items, only bright red roses, dishes made by his own hands, and exclusive sweet eyes for me. And honestly, how come a girl wouldn't fall for such a wonderful guy by her side? And even though I've lost all my faith in love, I still wanted to try being by his side. We started going on dates. He would hold my hands tightly as we walk side by side, would put on me his jacket when it gets cold, will hug and kiss my forehead to say goodbye. Little by little, love poured in, and I loved him more and more. Then one day, when we were at his house watching a romantic movie, in the last scene, when the male and female protagonists kissed passionately, he suddenly turned to look at me for a long time. I also looked at him. Then, he slowly moved his face closer and kissed me on the lips. Our first kiss. The kiss was passionate and so hot, but also very tender and sweet. And in my mind, only one thought remained. It turns out, this is truly love. I put my arms around his neck, deepening another kiss. Then, I slowly led his hands, resting on my waist, to touch my butt. He looked at me in surprise, then smiled and slowly let me lie down on the sofa. We had a very romantic and happy-filled night. I love Joey, and he loves me too. There are no branded items or diamond rings in between, just a lot of love. And as he knelt in front of me, I looked at the gold ring in the box and felt like it was the most valuable thing in the world. Joey and I have just got married this March, and we were very happy. Every day, just having him hug me is enough for me to feel that I have found what I wanted most. I finally found the love of my life. And true love is much simpler than I thought it would be. Love does not shine with expensive luxury items. Love shines with two hearts that are truly close together and love each other. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope each of you will find the true love of your life. And if you do find it, please tell me about your other half too.